not from just fixing on one specific animal model, but trying to get a picture through evolutionary time of how a particular neural system has developed.
Okay, well, it's not often that we get such a collection of wise people on stage at one time, and I know there are a lot of questions in the audience that might help clarify the future course. So to give them a few minutes of mental space so they can compose their answer to the question, where should we put our investment, let's take a few questions from the floor and see what might emerge. If you talk loudly, I'll repeat the questions. Come on, I can see you.
I think they're hungry.
Don't be timid, that's it. At the back. There's a microphone right next to you.
Since there's so much evidence for tissue-specific transcriptional modification, and even within the brain, region-specific transcriptional modulation, coactivation, repression, what is the likelihood that peripheral measures of the genome, per se, that people keep referring to, is going to yield information about what may be fairly subtle dysregulations in what we wind up seeing as a global outcome measure behavior?
Anybody want to tackle that, Michael or Paul?
Well, if it's assuming what you're talking about is genetic in origin, and of course you're going to find it with the genome screen. Ken Kendler told you earlier within the next couple of months. Now I'm not as optimistic as Ken, but I think it's going to happen fairly soon. Then it's up to, now we go on to the neuroscientists. After we've found that area and then gone on and cloned a gene, a piece of DNA with an open reading frame, then to find its function, and that may be exactly its function, is going to take another quite a while, I'm sure.
Jen.
As some of you know, I came to this field as a neurologist from the field of epilepsy. And in the 15 years I've been associated with schizophrenia research, it seems to me it looks more and more like epilepsy research. We have lots of different kinds of epilepsies. Some are clearly genetic. Many are due to developmental anomalies. And about half are due to something that happens much later. I think it is a mistake to set us up for only neurodevelopmental. The big findings in pathology are the ventricles. That's about all. And the third ventricle is the first to go. Therein lies the clue for me. Now we've got to look for risk factors, just as we did for epilepsy.
Excellent. Risk factors. Anybody want to respond? Dr. Goldberg, what's risk factors that you would like to focus on in your proposal for the future?
Well, I would be not interested in schizophrenia research because I'm a depression researcher and not a schizophrenia researcher, so I wouldn't
All right,
bother
pose it that way, though.
Yeah.
Risk factors for depression.
Right. I think that what you have to ask yourself is, what is it that's inherited? We know the importance of inherited factors, but in the alcohol field you can talk about aldehyde dehydrogenase being something which is quite important, but it's really very unlikely that those are the sort of